Just like imagine it's your first time in the gym, someone hands you a block of chalk, you're just staring at it like, how is this supposed to help me lift more? When I first got into lifting, I didn't know what chalk was, and the only guys I saw using it were these big fat guys who could bench press my deadlift. So I figured I must have given them some kind of power or something. Yeah. Or at least it makes them look cool. So I guess somehow this little block of stuff is supposed to help me lift more. But why? That's why. Imagine this is our bar. It's nice and dry. Lifting it isn't a problem. Now imagine it gets wet. Suddenly, having some problems lifting it. Same thing is true of a bar. Alright, so you might not be dropping some water on the bar when you're lifting, but you're going to start sweating, and your hands are going to get wet. That's going to make it harder to hold on to the bar. That's why we're going to use chalk, because that's going to absorb that moisture and make your hands nice and dry. That way the bar is not going to slip out of it when you're lifting. Well, it may help. Chalk is not magic. It's not going to magically make your grip strength any better. It's just going to help you a little bit. So most of the brands that you buy of chalk is going to come in a nice little block like this. Right now it's not very effective, and I'll show you why. Here I have my hand chalk free, and if we use a bigger piece, it's a little rounded right now, so when we try applying it, not a whole lot's going to happen right there. It's not very thick. Then if we take powder to contrast it, try grinding that in there. Not only to get more surface area, but it's going to get a lot thicker, so you get all those little nooks and crannies. That's why it's going to be more useful to have smaller pieces of chalk than one giant smooth block. Alright, so now I got my nice little chalk blocks in this bowl right here. I'm wondering how to get it into some kind of powder. Well, there's a trick. Now my bowl has exactly what we want from it. Smaller chunks and lots of powder. Alright, now our chalk is nice and powdery, so we can actually use it. First, what I like to do when I actually apply this to my hand, find a smaller block like this, really cover those calluses, even all the way up to the fingers. As I'm sure you can tell, there are a few gaps in there. That's where we're going to use the powder. Take the little tiny pieces in the powder and grind it out in there. Fill out any of those little nooks and crannies that aren't getting covered with the bigger blocks. Bam, good to go, nice and covered. Now that my hand is nice and covered, all the moisture is taken care of, and the bar is a lot less likely to slip while I'm doing my reps. I don't want it moving while I'm moving, because it's going to rip my calluses clean off. Your hands are going to end up looking up like this one. Keep it looking like that. If you're doing something like Outtro squats, try chalking your elbow. But when you start sweating, it's hard to get the bar to stick in there. And then when you get this extra layer of chalk, it holds on better. Some people will also chalk up their shoulders. That way, if they're doing anything from a front rack position, the bar isn't going to slip off of them as easily when they get sweaty. You can do this for front squats, cleans, etc. Alright, now we're done with our set, but we got a problem. Look at all this. Look at this mess. Even some on the floor. Even if you're lifting at a gym that allows chalk, you gotta clean this stuff up. I mean, unless you're starting a career in politics, leaving a trail of white powder wherever you go isn't gonna make you any friends, especially your gym owner. Congratulations, you've graduated from Chalk Boot Camp. Now here are some bonus tips you might find useful. Do not apply chalk to the barbell. This is the opposite of what we want. All these little grooves and knurling, these are meant to dig into our hands so we have something to grip against. When you put the chalk in the knurling, it makes it a smooth surface, thus hold on to because it's not actively digging into your hand. A lot of new lifters will try this, but it's not very good. It's also a pain in the you-know-what to get rid of from the bar. Don't do this to your gym owner. Imagine you're going to try to max out on your deadlift. I want you to put your belt on first, then go get your chalk. If we did it the other way around, we'd have our chalked up hands touching our belt, wiping off all that chalk onto our belt. We don't want that. That's why you gotta put your belt on first, then go get your chalk. Then you can get ready to fail that deadlift attempt in front of an entire crowd who spent the last 20 minutes watching you put your chalk and belt on. Let's say it's your first set of the day of deadlifts. Your hand's nice and dry, you can apply chalk no problem. But then let's say that you've been working out for a while and your hands are profusely sweating. There we go, you're warm now. And then let's say we apply chalk. You're going to end up with this weird, paste, slimy substance. That's not going to help us grip the bar anymore. And yes, this has actually happened to me before. So let's say you don't want some kind of suspicious white paste in your hands. All you gotta do is take your sweaty palms. There you go. Then apply your chalk. This way you're applying chalk to a dry hand and therefore maximizing its efficiency. Hopefully today you learned everything you want to know about chalk, maybe some more stuff you didn't even think about. In the next 2 weeks, the videos are going to be more focused around wrestling and rugby, so if you have any specific video ideas you want to see, leave them in the comments. Until then, see ya.